tune in.
We got a big show for you today. We got a lot to cover. We're going to jump right into the fantasy hot list. What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 6 of Sideline. We got a big show for you today, as always. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to jump right into it. With me, as always, my man Gerard Grimes, G Greasy.
This week, Jimmy's going to teach everybody how to Dougie.
Because all the girls love me.
See?
And, oh, wow, Special
Yes,
K.
he's back.
She
Right
is
off
here.
The rip is
She is
talking trash.
evil.
What's going on? Special K, Kirsten, got a lot to talk about with your Jets. We're definitely going to get to that. But first, we're going to start with this fantasy hot list. The top ads this week from Yahoo Sports. Yahoo always dropping the good information, courtesy of them. The first guy, I'm a little up in the air on Danny Amendola. Definitely due to the Mark Clayton injury. I mean, Amendola's going to catch a lot of balls. I think he caught 12 balls last week, but is he really going to get in the end zone and score any points?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say no. Not probably. Just no. Okay, Judge Judy concurs with me.
Judy.
I
So we're
concur.
good.
Yes,
So that's the
it's
show
official
there.
now.
She concurs.
Check that one off the list.
Next guy, Nick Folk, the precious Jets. Kicked 3 field goals, kept you guys in the game.
That's a shame when you got to rely on the kicker.
We won the game.
Was the only reason you guys won the game.
No, I think we scored first.
Once again, proving the point that we've been making here on Sideline,
Can't make it.
that kickers matter.
If the offense was better, they wouldn't need the kicker. That's making my point. What?
Well,
what
let me
happened?
just tell you this. One of the big things about offense is getting the ball in scoring position. Driving down the field, getting in the red zone where you can either kick a field goal or score a touchdown. So,
What's preferred?
well, of course you want a touchdown, but red zone percentages show that you don't always score touchdowns. So when you can't, you kick field goals. Hence, the field goal kickers are important. The next guy, one of my favorite guys,
Never.
former teammate Deion Branch, just got traded from Seattle to New England. He only caught 13 balls in the first 4 games in Seattle.
did
Now
you
he's
play
going
with?
back to New England, back to Tom Brady, where he won some Super Bowls, was a Super Bowl MVP. He knows the system. He knows Tom. I love this. I think Deion's going to have a big game and put some points on the board.
And he's taking a pay cut next year. I don't know why. I mean, he's not a boss. He's not. He can't stretch
No,
the
I mean,
field. He's a slot receiver playing number 1.
Well,
Good job.
and he came out and said, to his credit, I'm not Randy Moss. I'm not trying to replace Randy. I'm just trying to get in where I fit in. So this is going to be another problem for your Jets when they have to face the Patriots again.
No, it's not.
I see no problem.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype.
It is.
Any-
It's going to be a problem.
Anybody
Trust
in
me.
my league want Tom Brady, make a trade for him right now. Just bring him to me, because I'm not believing it.
Now, one guy who's been really hot all year, Mercedes Lewis down in Jacksonville, has been David Garrard's favorite target. He's been one of the reasons that David Garrard's been able to pick up his production the last couple weeks. I love this guy, man. He's a big target. He can run.
He can.
And he's catching the ball really well and getting in the end zone. He's definitely a good ad.
And with the team they played in recent, he's done pretty good. I mean, anybody with a stripper name can't be bad. I'm serious. That's how it
Wow. And there you have it from Gerard.
Don't tell him I
That's why we call
said
him
that.
Greasy. That's why we call him G Greasy.
We're grinding.
But what
is.
about
I'll take that.
But what about Roy Williams down in Dallas? Now here's a guy who was, shall I say, much maligned in the preseason.
Is that how they do it?
No, the hook.
No, they do it that way.
This way.
The hooker horns?
Hook 'em.
Oh, I thought I said hooker horns. Do it like that.
But Roy Williams has been playing lights out. Had a couple touchdowns last week. He's a great compliment to Miles Austin,
He
who's
is.
also been playing lights
Who's
out.
getting
There's
double covered,
There's
and I hate
another
it.
guy who is a top ad who's not on this list. Miles Austin had an unbelievable catch last week.
Why is he out there? If he's a top ad, he should not be out there.
That's what I'm saying.
He should have been drafted. If you didn't draft him, you're not smart.
You're not smart.
Period.
Well, speaking of week 5, a lot of big games, a lot of great performances. So we're going to go now with our Who's Hot section. Some guys that had great games last week. Are they going to be able to continue that going into week 6? Matt Forte definitely was a monster.
He won me a game.
Chicago.
Appreciate you, homie. 30 points from you. Good
After
job.
Todd Collins threw 4 picks in that game, coming in for an injured Jay Cutler, so they decided we're just going to hand it off.
We're gonna run it.
And against the Carolina defense that's pretty poor,
Pretty.
Forte went.
Pretty.
went
Whose
ham.
defense is worse, Detroit or Carolina?
I would have to say New Orleans.
We'll talk about that later. Oh, I want to talk about New Orleans. I want to.
Don't get excited.
Next guy who had a great week, Ray Rice up in Baltimore, man. They gave it to this guy, and he just reeled off big run after big run. I like Ray Rice. I think he's going to be hot every week.
Not every week.
Listen,
Not every week.
Baltimore, even against those Steelers, even against any of those teams in that division that like to call themselves great defensive teams, Ray Rice, with the way they can throw the ball now with the acquisition of Anquan Bolden, Ray Rice is going to be a guy who's going to be hot every week.
Did they throw the ball a lot last week? I'm going to say no because Anquan Bolden got me no points.
But it's the threat that he's there now. For the first time,
I don't care about threats. I care about points.
With TJ Hushmanzada, Derek Mason, and Anquan Bolden, Ray Rice is going to be hot every
He is
week.
a small little trash compactor. You can't
Malcolm
really tap
Floyd
him.
in San Diego, another guy. He had a big game and a loss. Phillip Rivers is really going to this guy. Antonio Gates.
Why? No
Vincent
Jackson.
Jackson. Of course.
You better watch out, homie. You're going to lose your job.
We talked about it. Malcolm Floyd has been really playing well, and he's going to be Phillip Rivers' top option aside of Antonio Gates. So this is another guy who I think is definitely going to continue that production going into Week 6.
But look at 213 yards, 1 touchdown. I expect more touchdowns. All them yards, what did he do? Stop at the goal line and fall? Is that what you
He
did?
had one big catch for them in the fourth quarter.
And that was it?
Well, hey, the guy can only do what he can do, right?
Give him some credit.
I'll give you
Easy
credit,
to
but
say
I
when
need
you
you
sit
to
on
hit
the
that end
couch,
zone a little bit
brother.
more. I need you to high step or something.
Last guy here on this list that Yahoo has, Tony Romo. I don't know if Romo.
Brokeback Mountain 2, right there. Tony Nomo.
Tony Nomo.
Tony Nomo.
Listen, I can understand why he's quote unquote hot. He's got 2 hot receivers right now.
Oh, yep.
And he's going against the Minnesota defense.
They
that
have no
hasn't
run
been
game.
That great.
No run game.
And Dallas has no run game to speak of. So I can understand this, but like I said, we're kind of down on Dallas. We have been all year, down on Tony Romo. So, I would expect Tony to be decent against Minnesota, but Minnesota is going to come out on fire trying to avoid.
Is he going to throw for 46 times? No, you can't.
Please do.
No.
I think I want to disagree with you. I mean, I get it. They're 1-4. I get it.
They're
But
what? They're what?
They're 1-4.
Okay,
but
thank
I mean,
you.
they have the third.
They're in last place, right? In the
but they
world,
have the
Craig.
third
In the
passing
world,
in
Craig.
NFL.
Okay.
So you got to give him credit. He's doing something. He might not be winning. He's doing something.
It has
Well,
been
picking up. He's
it has been proven that you let your quarterback throw 40 plus times a game, you lose.
Well, I'll tell you this. When you talk about fantasy football, yes, Tony Romo might be scoring
He might be.
points. But in the real world of football, a quarterback's job is to win games, and Tony Romo's not getting
Because
it
those
done.
people that wear the star do not care that he
I
had
agree
500
with you.
points.
I do agree with you, but speaking, real terms here, Tony Romo's job is to win games in Dallas. That's what they paid him to do. And it's not all his fault, but the bottom
He
line
does get a
is
check.
they're not winning games.
Big one.
Now, let's go for this recap here. This is something that I really enjoy, something that we've been doing the last couple weeks. Week 5 recap. Who were our surprises? Who were we impressed by? And who disappointed us? I'm going to go first. This
Okay.
is the team we've been talking about. We called them the worst 0-4 team in the history of the NFL. We picked them last week in a big game. The Detroit Lions blew out the Rams. Didn't beat them.
Took their lunch money and stole their car
Literally,
keys.
like,
Took
blew
them.
them out.
You talking about they stole the Escalade. It's over.
It
Seriously?
really was unbelievable. You had Sean Hill, who's their quote-unquote backup. He looks to me like he's the starter now.
Matt Stafford, your job is
Getting
gone.
his job back.
Your job is gone, homie. Go back to Georgia.
Megatron went off. They were strong in the run game. I mean, they put up 41 points.
44.
44 points.
44. Don't short them. They need all the
Unbelievable.
points they get.
Calvin Johnson finally got those.
Yes.
And then they held them to 6 points.
Which
Seriously.
leads right into my disappointing team, the Rams.
The Rams. We
Won
expected
2 in a
so
row.
much more.
We thought that they were actually going to be, kind of getting over that hump now. Maybe a team that could put together a few wins in a row.
Not happening.
Got blown out.
Your
I
doors
wouldn't-
got blown off.
I wouldn't be so down on them had they been competitive, but to score 6 points.
If it was like
unbelievable.
20 to 17, it would have been better. But now it was the Lions. It's still the Lions. They were bad. Yeah, good job. I know Mace is not happy. We love you, homie.
But speaking of that, I know everybody wants to know who you were surprised and disappointed by because you always have strong opinions on this. So let the world know what Gerard Grimes thinks.
Let me say something. My surprise and my disappointment is one team, the New Orleans Saints. Come on, guys, seriously? One offensive touchdown and you lose? Seriously, how do you do that? Drew Brees, 3 interceptions? Hey, what do we say? Lance Moore, one reception, 8 yards. Come on now. Marcus Colston had 97. Who you going to pick next week?
the Saints just can't get anything going. They can't get anybody to consistently step up.
They had no receiver over 100 yards. They had no running back over 50 yards. And you had like 5-6 turnovers. Seriously? You're not going to win that way. Cardinals. Cardinals.
Listen, let's save it because we're going to talk about them later on in the show.
Y'all making us look bad in the South. You better tighten it up.
So let me take a guess
some vinegar
on
or
Special
something.
K here. Who are you impressed by? The Jets.
The team you got to spell.
Cincinnati. They're driving me crazy. There's big hype. You got the Batman Robin.
So far it's Batman and Robin Girl because you ain't doing your part, Ocho.
So far it's Batman lays an egg.
Horrible.
Somebody stole the Batmobile.
Oh, the defense is all right.
They actually, you know, I'm not going to lay this blame on Ocho Cinco and T.O.
Carson Palmer.
I'm going straight to the quarterback.
Carson Palmer.
He has been so bad.
The last 2 interceptions he had was right to the other team. Your receiver wasn't even looking at you when you threw the ball.
Listen,
seriously?
They have so many weapons with Cedric Benson, with Jermaine Gresham, their first-round tight end, and with T.O. and Ocho Cinco. There's no reason. You don't even have to put a defense on the field, and you should be able to outscore most teams you play with that offense.
And your defense is serviceable. It's not like you have a bad defense. You have a decent defense, but when they're on the field for 30 minutes, they're going to be bad. You need to tighten up, Carson. Go back to USC. They might not want you back there right now.
Very disappointing from the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, with that, guys, we're going to wrap it up for Week 6. Definitely looking forward to a great week of games this coming week.
Go Falcons, homies.
Those Falcons got a big game against their former star Mike Vick and the Philadelphia Eagles.
If he hits that edge, we're going to crush them ribs. You better watch out.
I hope Mike plays, and let me just say,
I hope he plays too.
Falcons. I hope he gets off on
Hater.
Final words, what you got for us?
Ladies, let me tell you something. It's about men. We only have 2 emotions, hungry and horny. So if we don't have an erection, make us a sandwich, and we'll be happy. Next.
That just happened. Follow that up, Kirsten.
She can't.
I dare you. Follow that one up.
Well, I am a USC alum, so go Gamecocks all day. I'm not going to say
that wasn't how we rehearsed that.
That's not.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Chicken salad. That's why she shops at Baby Gap.
Listen, my final thought this week is Brett Favre, what are you doing with the camera phone, brother? Now, the girl was hot. I will give you that Jen Sturgeon was fine,
Yeah.
but that is no excuse to be sexting pictures of your package under no circumstances.
See?
I don't think it messed up his game. I think it messed up his game.
Yeah, it messed up.
With that, we're out of here. Week 6, we'll be back next week with another great show. Have fun this week. Take care.
He been hanging out with Eddie Long. That's what it is.
It's Brett Favre and Eddie Long.
It's Brett Long. I know it's.
I know why my favorite show. Every Saturday I'm tuning in. Everybody know Jimmy Fair, what it do? You know that's the host. We on the 50-yard line, 50 more to go. My sideline TV on repeat. Win the Super Bowl and never leave my fantasy. And if you gotta work, well, you should call off. They not like pre-song shout that they don't fall off. Here we go. Here we go. It's time to tune in. 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 Here we go. Here we go. It's time to tune in. 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 It's time to tune in.